All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. I don't know who's watching yet, if any. I'm going to do just a quick audio check here. Make sure everything is pumping and squeezing through the system as I'd expect it to. And I'm echoing on myself, so that means that it is working. Woohoo! All right. Oh, let's hide that. I got another one coming through somewhere. I don't know where this is. There we go. So much fun. All right. So we are live. So what we're looking at here is we're not really under the gun just yet. So this is kind of a pre-show. I figured, heck, might as well just go ahead and hop in and start looking at this thing. Give a little preview of what's going on. So right now, if we take a look at the radar, there's currently a line that's been forming. Been keeping a close eye on this puppy for a little bit. It doesn't seem to be producing severe level stuff. The big event we're watching is going to be this one right here. And it's, of course, moving off to the east this way. And it may actually overtake this line. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But, so like I said, we're going to watch this line first as it's now crossing the Wabash River and the Ohio River into western Kentucky and Evansville. Not seeing anything crazy right now with it. We'll get the dual view going on here. So, it's got some winds with it, but I don't really see anything dangerous with it, per se. Like I said, the big one we're going to watch is this thing off to the west. It's currently moving through Mount Vernon, Illinois. And if you look at it, how it's bowing, it has a really nice structure to it as far as being able to hold together and probably still stick together as it hits through the Evansville area. So we'll see. We'll hang on here. We might take a little bit of a break after we watch this line to go through to make sure it's not going to do anything crazy on us. But first off, guys, got to grab your cup of coffee. Let's have a sip together. That's good. Having actually decaf tonight. So a little tour of the screen here. We'll keep the radar up in this view. Over here on the left, we have my little alerter program, which currently shows all the warnings. Of course, there's a tornado watch. Tornado watches until 11 p.m. tonight. I got the watches filtered out. We're just going to watch the warnings for right now. But yeah, so grab your coffee, just hang around. Let me know if you're watching. And I know there's some people out there watching because I can see the counters, but I don't know who it is. So, and that's okay. You can be anonymous if you want to. Just want to make you aware that we're going to really focus on just a few small counties here in southern Indiana. So we're going to Posey, Gibson, Vanderburgh, Warrick, and Henderson area. So this is kind of I call it the hyper focus look. Make a little guy here. There you go. Rosy cheeks. Sure. So that's going to be our area we're going to be watching. Is mainly just this area right here. And once it's moved past this, if there's somebody watching No One's Borough, I may stick on for you guys. Just somebody let me know. But yeah, you can keep anonymous if you want to. We'll just, or you can shoot me a DM if you're on the Facebooks. Let me know where you are, that you're watching. And that way you can be hiding behind the cloak of invisibility. So I've had a request to produce the Jonathan Williams Death Index. So I'm going to say that my listeners are probably going to have a very good chance of surviving this storm tonight because we're going to watch this thing together. So the thing is, as long as if you're in a mobile home, I would definitely seek some shelter in other places. This type of storm system typically makes usually we see like short spin up tornado. So any tornado we have here is going to pop up. And it's usually going to probably dissipate pretty quickly. And I've had a request for the making the Frankie McDonald. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Frankie McDonald before, but I love watching that guy on YouTube. Gosh, I can't remember what the name of his. Just search for Frankie McDonald. He is great. I mean, he lives in Nova Scotia, but yeah, he'll sometimes give some warnings for the United States and stuff. But yeah, I admire that guy for getting on there and doing what he does. But he makes a storm siren sound that I need to somehow implement in here. He's great. But so, oh goodness, I'm actually just checking my email right now. And somebody's messaging me. Oh, cool. Watching from channel. Yeah, so the comment on the video, there's Facebook won't let me a fellow trombone player. Miss you, man. Miss playing with you. Yeah, so the commenting, I don't know, it's a little goofy. I don't know if you have to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel or what. I didn't really do a whole lot of planning there. I just kind of threw it up, tossed it up there. So, but make sure you guys get your coffee. We're gonna watch our coffee and drink radar. Watch coffee and drink radar. How about drink coffee and watch radar? So we got a couple views, different views that we look at here. One of these is I pull up lightning maps from, I need to fix this view. There we go. And as you can see, a lot of the lightning activities over here in southern Illinois. If you really look at those, if you look at those storms, they're not really producing that much lightning. Around Cape Girardeau, down to the south, it looks like they have a lot more. They have a lot more hits down there. Sykeston, it looks like it's getting ready to get hit. Let's actually take a look. I flew over Sykeston yesterday. Went and picked up a plane. Where's Sykeston? Down here somewhere. There it is. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that we're going to be looking for. I'm going to actually switch to the Paducah radar. Here it is. So some of the things we're going to be looking for during the storms tonight as these approach are going to be these little notches you see right here. Like this right here. Come on, there we go. This, and we see little notches like this in the storm. And there's a tornado warning here, so I'm guessing there's probably one here, or was one. Check that out. There it is right there. So we're going to be watching for these little fingers that kind of stick out of this storm. So you see these little areas, and that's usually an indication of areas of rotation. This is probably a good one right there as well, too. And these are areas we're going to be seeing tornadoes popping up. So they're going to be little, F1, F2, maybe at most F2. I don't know if we'd really see out of the storm system if there's the lifting index to produce like an F3 level. So most of the stuff's going to be pretty strong. The biggest thing we're going to hit tonight is just the straight line winds are just going to come and just push straight at us. So if you're in a standard house, a big apartment building or something like that, obviously you want to move to the lowest floor. Reason for that, if there's any trees falling or anything like that, you have that little buffer zone. And sometimes those spin up tornadoes can happen as well too. And the thing is I really, any other broadcasts are really not going to be able to give you the warning that you need for some of those. So as these approach, we'll just keep a close eye on it and see what happens. So it looks like this line that's getting ready to cross the river right now, the Wabash into Posey County. Let's just kind of look at its progress here, see what it's done. Yeah, it's actually weakening. It's falling apart. So that's kind of what I expected. And I'm going to make a little bit of a prediction here tonight, too, that I think this line, as it approaches Evansville, it may still be hitting hard once it hits Evansville, but once it hits Warrick County and starts to move beyond, I think it's really going to start to lose its power. Just from the models I've looked at tonight, it looks like a lot of the strongest stuff is going to happen in this particular area, and that's what we've seen through a lot of the areas as well. Oh gosh, I've been poking at the wrong one. There we go. You can see I don't do this professionally all the time, so. Okay, you have to subscribe to comments. Gotcha. So, like I said, we may take a little bit of a break here. I may just put the radar view on, and we can go all brew us another cup of coffee, and I'll try to make some predictions once it gets a little closer here to see when it's going to cross. Like I said, I think this line that's moving through Evansville right now, currently moving through Mount Vernon, it's weakening. So I'm not too terribly concerned. One thing nice about this, it does mean that this storm is kind of absorbing some of the energy out in front. So that may be a good sign for us that we may get nothing. And I'd be happy with that. Of course, I like storms, but I'm also good when we don't get anything as well, too. Well prepared for this one. The biggest thing I hope you're prepared for tomorrow, because our temperatures, we are looking for a forecast of very cold weather over the next couple days. Let me see if I can pull that up here. See if I can get that to show up properly. Let's try this view. And that's even worse. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go with this view. So yeah, if you look, our temperatures, this is tonight. Our temperatures are going to just drop off and plummet. And they're actually going to stay pretty steady through the day today, hovering right around that freezing mark. Winds are going to be gusting from the northwest. And then tomorrow night, we're going to see the temperatures plummet down to around 17 degrees. And then Tuesday, we'll see it warm up. Wednesday, a little warmer. Thursday, warmer. Friday, we'll be back into our spring weather once again. And the weekend is looking great. I am going to go fly. I'm going to have to go flying next weekend. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. We're going to fly next weekend. It looks good. I like that. All right. Back to the radar. See, I think we're going to take a little break here just for a little bit. Mainly because I'm just not seeing this. A reason why I came on is like saw this line here was really developing and kicking off, but it looks like it's losing some of its steam. So I'm not too worried about it. There's going to be just some rain, maybe a little heavy downpour mixed with it. Could be some wind. The big event's going to be this guy as it moves across, and it is still packing a punch. I'm going to just take a look here. And these storms are moving off to the east at... How fast are you moving? Come on. M-E-N-A. There we go. No, I don't want the super thunderstorm. Okay, let's get into it. N4. There we go. Show me N4. Could drive me nuts now. So these things are, well, they're just hauling. Let's just put it that way. So let's see if we can figure this out. I hate it when they move stuff around in this app. It's a nice app. I love it, but it seems like every time I hop in here, they change something. Is this it? I think it is. Huh. Well, it looks like they took away the feature where I could see where it was going to cross. Well, that's a bummer. Shoot. All right, so we're going to... Where did it go? I think it used to be right there. I don't know what... Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah. They just changed it on me here. Okay, so let's get back here. The part of the storms that are probably affect Evansville. Let's see if we can figure out the effective forward movement here. We'll do some old-fashioned calculations. How's that sound? Oh, wow, that's moving quick. So if I can measure from here to here. Okay, that's 60 miles. So, okay, so they are moving to the north and to the east about 60 miles an hour. So that would put it here in Evansville. Storm path is 60. Yeah, they changed this all up on me, didn't they? Oh, it actually looks like it automatically calculates. Well, let's see what happens here. Okay, let's just draw this sucker out. All right, so it is predicting nothing. Let's turn this off. So yeah, it looks about right there. So yeah, it looks like we're looking at the main line, probably moving into Evansville. Yeah, I would say probably in. Is it gonna make me a list? Mount Vernon, Indiana, probably in 80 minutes. Henderson, an hour and a half. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna have a little bit here. So I think I'll tell you what we're gonna do is now that we kind of given you a little briefing of what's going on, we're gonna take a little break. Let me turn this mess off. We're gonna take a little break. I'm just gonna leave the radar on. So you can see. So we can watch together what's going on. And as this gets closer and we start getting warnings in Karma, you know, like the areas in Illinois, you can keep an eye on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. We start seeing warnings pop up there. I have flags for like the neighboring counties to it'll show up in there. So once we see that, it will pop. We'll pop back in here and go. Someone's calling me. Oh, all right. Hang on. I'm gonna take this call real quick here. So just go and watch Radar. Enjoy. All right. Coming back. I'll take the taking a break sign off. Don't really need that anymore. So what I'm doing right now is we're just doing some calculations based upon, I'm going to go back like 50 frames. I'm going to get an average movement of this sucker. So let's go back, and if I press and hold this button right here, I should get, yep, there we go. So let's go back, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I want to go exactly 1 hour. So at 6:42. Man, they got this thing running in hyper. There it is, 6:42 p.m. So I'm going to go just kind of straight out west of Evansville and see where the front of this line is. So basically, we're looking at wherever this like intersection is right here. We're just going to use that as our point, kind of where the strongest part of that storm is. And then we're going to zoom ahead to 7:42, 1 hour later. All right, that's just to the right of Pinckneyville. And 7:42. Because what I'm doing, even though the storms have, these trackers have movements going this way, what I'm wanting to is calculate the actual arrival time here in Evansville. So, if I measure from, get my little measuring thing up here, this little intersection right here in Pinckneyville, and we're going to go all the way over here to just on the other side of McLeansboro. And that is 39 miles. Okay, so that's about right. I calculated about 40 miles per hour. And that's about where these guys are running. So they're actually moving about 60 miles an hour in like this direction, right? Because you get the shear pushing up here and the storm pressure is pushing like this. So you get an average like that. But what I want to find is the actual time it's going to arrive here in Evansville. So let's use 40. How about we just say 42 miles per hour? I like that number. It's a nice, uneven, unpretty number. It's an ugly number. What are you doing? That is not what I asked for. So let's just do this. Create a new one and go whoop. Now that's special. It's doing something different now. I love it when it does that. Oh, linear storm path. All right. Got to change the modes here. Hang on. Let's try this. How about custom storms path? Let's do that. And let's say 42 miles an hour, not 423 miles an hour. That is fast. So let's do it this way. Let's just kill that. So we're on our latest radar stream. And we're going to go out like this. So that shows you about where the front line of the storm is going to end up. We are looking at New Harmony, probably crossing the river here about 8:39 p.m. So, gosh, we got just a little over an hour. Something doesn't seem right about that. I may recheck this calculation, but it may be. Something doesn't seem right about this calculation. I don't know why. The thing is that this storm actually has seemed like it's lost a little bit of its juice to it. And I'm kind of wondering if this storm right here that's running in front of it kind of sucked the energy out of it. So anyway, let's say about 8:35, 8:36, arrival time in Mount Vernon. Evansville looks like downtown Evansville right about 9 o'clock. And then probably the Newburgh area. Let's see what we got here. Well, fine. Don't show Newburgh on here. Okay, so Newburgh's probably going to be around probably 9:14, something like that. So these are just guesses, estimates based upon the time. This storm actually has it's moved slower than what they anticipated. So that's actually a good sign for us because that tells us that that's the forward move, it slowed down. So that means our chances of the strong straight line winds are kind of lessening as well too. I'm not going to let our guard down because if you watch this thing as it goes, it's still got a lot of little finger action going on here. There's a lot of little fingers just kind of popping out in front of this thing. You can see that shear moving up the front of that line. Bum, 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 bum. So yeah, we'll just kind of stick here and watch this thing. It's almost kind of feeling like it's gonna be not a really huge, big event. So that could be good for us. I would like that. And that's kind of what I thought earlier. I thought this line that was out in front was probably going to suck a good amount of the energy out. So I'm going to go to a smaller loop here. And I almost feel like this thing's going to be moving faster than 40 miles an hour. Maybe not. Because I feel it's maybe going to cross the... Well, this may be right. What I was thinking these things were going to do is we were going to see this line and this line merge. And actually, I think this line and this line are going to overtake each other. If that happens, there could be some crazy action kicking off here in Evansville. So we'll just keep our eye on this as we keep watching tonight. But right now, there's no real warnings. There's not any severe thunderstorm warnings. There's some tornado warnings down here to the south. Let's just kind of scroll around while we're waiting for this storm to show up. Let's kind of poke around the country, see what we got going on. So what do they got going on here? They got this big old... Okay, so it looks like they're probably going to plan on issuing a tornado watch for eastern Indiana a little bit later. This is kind of like a tornado watch. Looks like probably the same thing is going to happen down here. So this is going to be an all-night event for these people. It's going to pass by us. We'll be done with it probably a little after 9 o'clock tonight. It's going to move on out of the area, and it'll be pushing off. Now, tomorrow, if you look at the convective, let's see if I can actually pull that up on here. I know I have it. Yeah, take a look at this. So let's go to Tay 2. And I'm going to look over here. If you look over here on the East Coast, the Washington, D.C., the Raleigh, down to South Carolina, this is actually a higher chance of storms than we have today. Today we were only a enhanced risk, and this goes all the way up to a moderate. So level 4, I believe is what that is. Yeah, that's a moderate. That's pretty high. We're right. This is where we are here. But let's just hop back to today. We'll kind of review what's happening while this is going on. So back to today, what we're looking at, it's kind of hard to see with everything going on. It's kind of a busy map. But we're just up to an enhanced risk. So, the tornado chances are lower. Like I said, the biggest threat for tonight are going to be wind. And if we put the wind, let's see if they've adjusted this any. Where those loops are. Yeah, so this is interesting. So they have moved the wind chances. They push those off to the east a little bit. So this may get interesting. Like I said, once we hit Evansville, these two may combine and we may see some action here in Warrick County and possibly even to the east. They have increased our chances of wind damage. Um, yeah, so they have just updated this. Yeah, this is fresh data. This looks like they just came out with this recently. So, all right, we'll scoot back down to the local level here. Yeah, as you watch, so we have this line that's crossing into Mount Vernon. You're getting ready to hit some storms there. And it looks like we're getting a little lightning action going on in Mount Vernon. So let's go ahead and just start taking a look at this line here. I'm kind of wondering if it's going to maybe take over from this line, but actually what I think is going to happen is these two lines are going to converge here in just a little bit. And we might actually get a little bit of a hammering here in Evansville. Let's see what's going on here. Let's kind of dig into these storms a little bit. And take a look at the velocity. Oh, yeah, look at this. So we've got, it looks like we've got a pretty good line of wind starting to form. In fact, Evansville right now, you're actually, ooh, look at this. So if you're in Evansville right now, looks like a band of wind is actually getting ready to come through. So if you're in the, I don't see any rotation going on with it, which is a good thing. Of course, there was a ton of shear with these storms. I'm going to probably guess that that's going to be happening back here. And you know what? This right here is actually looking a little stronger. Let's see what we got. Okay, no, that's actually pretty well. Let's go to storm relative. Give me a second here. Oh yeah, so we got it. Does look like there is just kind of a line of wind starting to pick up at Evansville right now. And the numbers are kind of all over the place. And another thing I'm gonna do is take a look at vertically integrated liquid. And what I'm looking for here is this is where a lot of the updraft is. So yeah, so it looks like the main line is still hanging out back here, but look at this gap. There's actually a little bit of a gap that's kind of formed. Okay, I just had an alert of a lightning strike just to the north and west of Boonville. Is that right? Or north and east of Boonville. Let's go back to the radar, see what's going on up there. Oh, yeah. Okay, just a little bit of a storm. Yeah, so we have some light rain here in Newburgh. Boonville's got some heavier rain coming down right now. And we're just going to watch and see what happens. So it looks like there might be an outflow boundary that's starting to move through Evansville right now, even though there's not any precipitation with it. And that might actually be a good thing, because look how this thing's kind of fallen apart. I have a feeling that this has been a pretty mature storm, and it's kind of going to collapse. So when it collapses, it kind of pushes out. You start seeing these four lines start to kind of run in front of the storm. And we'll see if these merge together. That's kind of what I'm thinking it's going to do, is these are going to kind of merge together and kick off. Probably on the other side of Evansville, or maybe once it gets into Warrick County as it moves off to the east. So Owensboro, you guys might be in for a good ride tonight. Don't know, for Posey County, you might be, it's hard to really say right now what's going to happen there. Let's look for the alerts. We don't have any alerts or warnings for our area right now, which is good. I need to turn off this because it's getting in my way. There we go. Yeah, there's no warnings. Is our tornado watch even still in effect? Yes, it still is. Okay. While we're waiting for this sucker to go crazy, if it goes crazy, anybody have any questions? Pop it into the chat here. If not, so far this has been kind of a does look like the storm. When I see the storm kind of spreading out like this, it does show that there's a little weakness going on too. Weakness with it as well too. Oh, check out. So look at this. This is interesting to see. Kind of watch what's happening. See this little guy right here? How it's just jetting off to the east. Ah, what is this? There we go. All right, let's try that again. So we got this guy right here. He's actually kind of moving like this, being pushed by that southerly flow. But it looks like it's starting to push out, and we got kind of a bowing action starting to form. Because I'm going to kind of wonder if this whole storm system here is just going to kind of fall apart, and if we're going to see a new line start to form up here. That is a possibility. But when the storms start getting wider like this, they also kind of lose some of their strength as well too. When we saw that big wall, like if you down here, there's still two distinct lines. They're starting to kind of merge up here. So I kind of think we may get lucky here in Evansville tonight and not really see. Yeah, because look how these things are falling apart. And they're falling apart in a region where these storms originally were forming. So I'm kind of have a feeling that this storm here has actually sucked some of the energy out of the atmosphere for us. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering. It is almost looking like this is going to be our new storm front. So we may get we may just get some rain and be done with this thing. But it is going on 8 o'clock right now. And our original prediction was that this line was going to be pushing into Posey County probably around 8:30. It might be a little before that. My gut was telling me that it's going to be a little before that. Because the storm is not really linear. It's kind of haphazard of how it's moving around. It kind of does what it wants. Yeah, this line's really starting to form up pretty good here now. Let's go back and look at the history on this. Let's see. Go back a little further in time tonight. One thing we're not seeing tonight is the illustrious butt echo. I don't really see a lot of butt echoes going on. I was kind of hoping we would see some, but I don't think I'm going to see them. This line is holding together pretty strong. And really, honestly, I think Western Kentucky is going to be, getting a little bit of a stronger area as well, too. We just had a new tornado. It looks like a new tornado warning just popped up there near Olney, Illinois. While we're here, let's just go take a peek at that, see what maybe triggered that. So keep in mind, oh yeah, there's a lot of shear along that front line. Oh, look at this. Got a couple fingers going on right here. In what county is that? Albion, just to the west of Albion, Illinois. Let's see what's going on with the main radar. Oh, look at that. Yeah. We may have a tornado warning over here and just to the west of what county is that? Albion, Illinois. Someone help me out here. What do we got going on there? Is that White, Wayne, Gallatin, one of those? I think it's Wayne. I think it's Wayne, White, and Gallatin, if I think that's right. I think Shawnee's in Gallatin. Let's see what those are doing. So if you watch this animation, if you just keep your eye on the front of this line, and you can just see how that shear is just pushing up the front of it. And that is a perfect combination. You know, like see some places like that where that's sticking out like that. Those are perfect situations for little spin up tornadoes. Like I say, they're not very strong when they do spin up. They're not like really long track tornadoes like we see. Oh, look at this down there, El Dorado, Illinois. Ooh, what's going on here? Let's take a look at you. Got a little, definitely got a good little, nice little signature going on there. Yeah. Yep, that's been kind of a recurring theme along this storm too. They haven't issued a warning yet, but they might. Let's take a look at correlation coefficient, see if we see anything. And nothing there. Look at the storm open here only. See if there's any debris or anything like that in the air. Pretty impressive lightning on the south side. So let's look at our lightning map. So right now with the lightning map, we see that, oh yeah, there's some lightning going on with the storm down in Henderson right now. Had a few strikes, not a lot. Hop back over to the radar again. Yeah, if you look here, see how this is really starting. This storm is really starting to form up really nice. Right here at Evansville. Oh gosh, we may actually be in for something here. It may form. We'll see what happens. But it's really coming together. The storm in the rear. This one's falling apart. I think we got just what I thought earlier. I think we got a new boundary starting to form. That's going to push off to the east, and I think this one's going to pick up some steam as it matures. I'm going to look at the velocity of the storms. Yep, that's what I thought. So this is basically the winds, and we have that line really starting to form here. Here's the other storm, and it has really weakened out quite a bit. It is still holding together off down to the south down here. I'm going to hop on the Paducah radar real quick and see. Yeah, you still see if you look at the Paducah radar, we have two lines. So we have this main line right here, which is starting to strengthen. Yeah, this storm's getting ready to go through Henderson right now. It is definitely starting to strengthen. But I tell you what, the main line is still, there's that shear line right here that is still holding together pretty well. And that's still going to be a concern through the night. Honestly, though, it feels like it's going to be a problem mainly to our south. Because if you look up here, as we go to this radar, it is still pretty defined, but it's kind of lost its definition through here. And we're starting to really see that definition show up here. I don't know. Sometimes you really can't tell what these storms are going to do. They literally have a mind of their own. A lot of things are going into what puts these things together. Man, we've been going for an hour and 26 minutes so far. Good grief. Of course, we did take a break there for a little bit. Everybody got your coffee? Got a little bit left in my cup. It's cold now, but nothing wrong with an hour and 26 minute old coffee. Oh, what was that? That was interesting. Not sure what that was. My warning thing just lost its mind, I think. Mainly all we see are here in flood warnings right now. Lots of water everywhere. So we're going to see this first line move through. It's actually moving through Evansville right now. And that second line is catching up to it. I just kind of get the feeling that it's just really sucking a lot of the energy out. And this storm like literally, so you hear somebody, I remember my grandma would talk about this when I was a kid, that storm, she would say things like, well, that storm just jumped over the top of us. It's like, well, what does that mean? this is exactly what that means. Is when these thunderstorms, they all go through a cycle. Even the long track squall lines, like you see here, they will get to a point where they fully mature, and the whatever the process is that's fueling that particular storm, whether it be a particular updraft or whatever, that always generally falls apart. These long-lived lines usually last a lot longer, but they fall apart. And when they fall apart, they kind of collapse and they push out in front. You usually start to see that second line in the front start to form, like this right here. And that ended up becoming the new front line, while the back line falls apart. And I think that's what we're seeing happening right now. But it looks like we're getting some pretty hefty rainfall in Evansville, at least on the west side right now. It looks like it's crossing over Pigeon Creek at this time. We'll do a quick little spinny check here to make sure nothing's spinning out there. We'll watch out for those spinny things. That's kind of the dangerous part. I mean, there is that little shear line, right? But it looks like just straight line stuff right now. So we'll see what happens. And it still looks like that second round of wind is probably going to kick us a little bit. It'll give us a little smack as it comes through. But yeah, I'm mainly concerned over down here in like Western Kentucky area is where we're going to see a lot of that. Owensboro, I'd be, anybody out there, I'd be kind of on alert as this thing is building and gaining strength. I do think that this whole line right here is going to eventually become a concern, but probably not for us, which is a good thing. This thing is just sucking all the energy out of the atmosphere. And yeah, look how this sucker's just falling apart. That line definition is just completely gone now. And this is the portion that's probably going to move through Evansville. Yeah. So what's going to happen is those two storm lines get together. Those two front boundaries that come together, they're probably going to form a new big storm that's going to probably pop off to the east. I just heard some thunder here in Newburgh. Let's go take a look at Mr. Lightning map. And yep, sure enough, we did have, it looks like a strike that came from just south of Spotsville. There's Spotsville right there. And just to the south is where that lightning strike was. So they're pretty close. I just heard it outside my windows now. Probably need to go holler at my wife to go take things out. We're not sheltering the cats or doing anything crazy with them because I'm not really feeling an urgent need right now to. Evansville, you might be in the clear. So curious if anybody on the west side, anybody on the west side of Evansville that got any wind action? Anybody in Evansville right now getting any wind action? Let me know. The Evansville airport, well, of course, that's always delayed a little bit. I'm going to take a look at this is a good one to look at, is MPing reports. Let's see if I can pull this up. This is a neat real-time application where you can watch storm reports as they come in. Sorry, I have to deal with something here real quick. Yes, I'm going to pop you back on radar here real quick. So far, no warnings in our area. Good news. I think we may end up with another, could end up with another nothing burger tonight. Which is a good sign for us. Yeah, this line is strengthening pretty good right here. The one that's moving through middle of Evansville right now. It is starting to pop some fingers out. But let's check for any spinning activity. No, but it is, see, there's a wall of wind there starting to form. So we might get spanked with a little wind here in Newburgh, and it's actually kind of bowing out just a little bit. And it does look like we just got a severe thunderstorm warning popped up for northern Vanderburgh County. There it is. So yeah, it looks like Edwards, Illinois. That's a big one. Edwards, Wabash, White, Gibson. Let's look at this warning and see what they're saying. Tornado could be possible. So what they're saying is that there could be, you know, a little spin-up tornado in these. So the biggest hazard is, it looks like 60-mile wind gust. Could see some, maybe, you know, spin, like I said, these could see a spin-up tornado as well, system as well, too. So, yeah. And just like the National Weather Service said there, that, you know, tornadoes in these storms can develop quickly. So it does look like this second line is still packing a decent punch right now. We're going to take a look at that. Oh yeah, it's still got a little. So see, we have two lines right now. Almost looks like this first one is starting to pop off a little bit stronger. Yeah, so it looks like if you're in the east side of Evansville right now, you're probably getting a little wind. It's crossing over. Looks like, is that Green River? Yeah, it's Green River Road. The Green River Road area. It's moving off to the east here. I'll be moving into this line of wind. I'll be moving into Newburgh fairly soon. Oh, what we got going on right here? Yeah, nothing really showing up. A little bit of rotation, but nothing really super concerning. Yeah, but we definitely do have some wind, a little bit of wind gusts moving through. And it is bowing out a little bit, so that usually means that it's definitely forming, getting stronger. But if we look at this view, we're looking storm relative velocity. You know, we're getting hit by this first line, but man, this second line looks like it is still holding together. So we're going to stick here, stay here until the second line moves through. And it looks like it's going to be right about on time. It looked like it was going to cross into Mount Vernon area around 8:30 or so. And then this line's probably going to move into Evansville around 9. So if you're in Evansville, if you want to take a break, come back here about 9 o'clock. We're going to stick with this until that second lines moves through, and if the stream disappears and I end it, that means that Posey, Vanderburgh, Warrick, and Henderson, Gibson counties are all kind of out of the danger zone. So we'll just stick here, just keep watching radar. Got a little bit of coffee left. Drinking the decaf tonight because I don't want to stay up too late. And yeah, so I'm here. I'm actually on the east side of Newburgh. So it's going to be a little bit before I see this. Looks like it's getting ready to pass. It's probably passing over the Warrick Vanderburgh County line right about now. I'm going to go back and check comments, see if anybody's posted anything. So there are storm sirens going off in Evansville right now, and the reason for that is that they've issued the warning for northern Vanderburgh County. So what they're sending off is this storm that's moving through right here. They're kind of concerned with. So basically, if you're in northern Vanderburgh County, this is the storm area they're worried about. So they're taking this storm right here, and it's moving off to the east. So yeah, so when they trigger the storm sirens, even though it's only touching a little bit of the northwest part of the county, they send it off for the entire county. They don't have, they haven't perfected, cutting it down to just the local areas. But that would be cool if they did. But it doesn't hurt to go in to set the alarm off to wake everybody up and say, "Hey, what's going on?" But yeah, this one thing I'm really starting to think this line is going to be the main event, or will soon be the main event. Like I said, this second line right here that is currently getting ready to cross into Posey County right now over the White Wabash River is our main event, but I think this front line right here is going to become the new main event of the news. As this one continues the weekend, this one's going to gain strength and take off. I am just looking at something here real quick. Yeah, so it looks like the first line, so we're going to see two waves of it. So if you're in Evansville, looks like the first wave has moved through. First wave's starting to move through Warrick County right now. That second wave is just starting to push into Mount Vernon, Indiana. Let me yell at my family here real quick. Hey, y'all, it's getting ready to start pouring down rain. You all might want to go close the windows. Hey, y'all, it's getting ready to start pouring down rain. You all might want to go close the windows. All right, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to do some real weather spotting. I'm going to go outside and just kind of see what's happening. Like I said, I don't really see any danger in this particular storm right now. It's getting ready to get a little windy here in Newburgh. Anybody in Evansville see anything with this? Other than loud thunder. I like loud thunder. Yep, I am hearing the thunder right here in Newburgh right now. So we'll look here at we're looking at the velocity. This is the wind. You see this line. This is the line of wind, which is just now crossing the Wabash River into Posey County, and this is where the main wind event has been occurring. After this front portion of that front moves through, that's where we really start to see the temperature start to drop. And this is interesting. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff down. Not me, but hope I'm okay. I think I just had an internet blip. I am running on backup internet right now. Sweet. Looks like Astound is down in Newburgh. So yeah, it sounds like there is definitely some stuff going on. I don't hear the wind whipping right now. I have some wind chimes out on my front porch, and usually if it's got some strong winds, it's usually whipping around pretty good, but it almost feels pretty calm out there. So you can see here, probably the reason why they issued this severe thunderstorm warning right here is it does look like there's some action happening right in here. And that's going to be moving off towards the Princeton area. So if you know anybody in the Princeton area, you might get a little wind. And I do take a look at this. I do still see some finger action happening up here. These little guys right here. These are the places to watch for like little spin up tornadoes. Very short little boogers. But the thing is, this line is just so disorganized right now that I honestly don't know if I would really see any spin-ups tornadoes in them right now. So looks like if you're in Evansville right now, we're kind of in that break. We're in the break zone. But there's that other line coming. We're going to stick with it here till this last line makes it through Evansville and through my house here in Warrick County. And if nothing else happens out, we'll sign off for the evening and just call it a big nothing burger and be glad that we survived it. So I would definitely say the death index is now at pretty much a 0 now. So this, everybody was freaking out over the storm system moving through. And the biggest thing in this particular type of storm is the straight line winds. So generally in most solid constructed framed houses, buildings, etc., you're going to be okay generally in these situations. If you get hit by maybe an F1, F2 spin up tornado, you're going to have some roof damage, maybe some windows blown in, stuff like that. But it's not going to be like, if you're obviously if you are in a mobile home or something like that, yeah, I would get the heck out of those things. But tonight it's just, I would still maybe just as a precaution, maybe. But like I said, this storm has really lost a lot of its energy. It really has. So I got the hiccups now. Great. Yeah, I can hear the rain. We're in some heavy rain right now here in Newburgh. The lightning has not really been, and this is and the lightning is one of my telltale signs to watch out for, particularly tornadoes, and particularly stronger tornadoes. I will watch for a lot of lightning activity. And when there's a lot of lightning activity, there's a lot of updrafts, and there's a lot of updrafts. There's always that chance where the tornadoes can kick off. But like I said, we're not really seeing that. Let's see, up in Gibson County. Yeah, we're getting a little more lightning action up in Gibson County. And it does look like the storm is a little stronger up in that area as well, too. Now, the storm is starting to approach what I call the cone of silence. Right here is the, see my mouse, that is where the Owensville radar site is. So once storms kind of approach that site, you kind of start to lose a little bit of visibility of them just because it can't shoot, the radar antenna doesn't shoot straight up into the storm. So you'll kind of see, I'm getting tired. You'll kind of see these storms falling apart. But we're about right on time. We're crossing about 8:30, and this boundary is starting to move into Mount Vernon. I think we originally said it was going to be about 8:39, so we're going to be around on track for where the main wind event is going to occur. But like I said, we're going to keep watching this storm out in front. Overall, this whole storm system has just really widened itself out. It does look like it's holding together up here, up north. I would be very concerned about this area here. I'm still kind of concerned about us, but man, just look how this is just kind of really petered out. Let's take a look at the velocity just to see. I mean, it's still packing a little bit of a punch here, but it's just not quite there. And I am really disappointed. We haven't seen any butt echoes tonight. Yeah, so we are starting to get some wind here in Posey County right now. Looks like it's just past New Harmony. Mount Vernon, you're about ready to get hit with some wind, gusty winds. West side of Evansville, east side. I know I got somebody here from the east side of Posey County, just right near the Vanderburgh County line. I think is where you are, if I recall. And yeah, so if you had that first line move through, don't let your guard down because we do still have this second line of wind that's getting ready to move through here in just a little bit. Right now it's just to the west of Mount Vernon. I don't see any spinny action, which is a good sign for us. There's all kinds of craziness going on down here. I'm going to hop down here to the Paducah radar. See what's going on down there. Now I would watch out for this booger right here. Where is he going? Look at that. Let's see what's actually happening with the storm there. Okay, see, we got a little notch just right there to the west of Cave and Rock. If you're in Sturgis, you know anybody down there in that part of Kentucky, I'd keep your eye on this puppy. Let's see what it's doing. Come on. I'm on backup internet right now, so it's a little slower. It's only 100 meg down, so it's not quite as snappy. But it works when the main internet's stop working. Yeah, so we do have this area. Oh, we got a new warning. All right, so they just popped one up for Gibson, Posey. Let's see where this is at. Oh, okay. So what this is just an update. They have updated that warning. They basically the danger has popped off of has left the Illinois counties, and they've reduced it down just to the Indiana counties. So if you look, oh, pardon my yawn, I'm tired. If you look, this does have a little, when we're looking at the Paducah radar right now, this does have a little bit of Boeing action right now. So I'm going to probably guess that, and with that radar so far away, we kind of lose some of the resolution. And then when you come to this radar is like right there in Gibson County. And it doesn't actually see any, it's kind of loses some of its visibility as well too. So if you're in Gibson County, you're kind of screwed sometimes when it comes to radar coverage. So right now, Mount Vernon, it is getting ready to hit you with some winds. Let's take a look at the scope here to kind of see what we're dealing with. 50, and these are up in the sky, so these aren't necessarily what's happening down in the ground. So yeah, between 40 to 50 miles an hour. We're on storm relative. Let's go on high res. Let's go on just regular. See what we got. Yeah, so the storm res is thinking there's some winds there, but I'm guessing not as strong as what we see up here. Yeah, but you will want to keep an eye on this little couplet down here. That definitely looks near Cave and Rock, Illinois. If anybody down there, you want to keep an eye on this. Also Sturgis. They want to keep an eye on it as well. It actually might move. Let's see which way this thing's moving. It might be sliding. Is it sliding up? It looks like the track of this situation right here is sticking off the east. So I'm going to say like Sturgis, Morganfield, southern Henderson County. We'll see what happens once this thing rolls through. South of Corden, Poole, Kentucky. We'll see what that happens. Mount Vernon, you're probably getting some wind right now. You know what? I think there's a weather station out at Farmersville Elementary. Let's see if they had any good gusts there. I'm gonna peek. I'm looking at another screen right now to see if I could pull up any live reports out of those areas. Does Farmersburg still have a weather? Yes, it does. So I'm going to take a look here real quick. I will pop this over on the other screen to see if this works. See if you can see this as well too. Definitely the wind has shifted directions there. Does it have a graph? Look at this. So temperature has already dropped from 70 degrees down to 60 degrees. This is at Farmersburg Elementary. Maximum wind, though, I mean, in that particular storm, they didn't have You see when the wind shifted direction, but the maximum gust was just about 19.5 miles an hour. So down on the ground, we're probably not seeing a lot of strong gusty winds there. Let's go pop around to take a look at some other ones here. Poseyville. Let's see what's going on up there. We have a weather station up there. We'll take a look at that one. And they have some gusts going to 22 miles an hour. Wind's about 15 miles an hour right now. So it is, like I said, it's moving through Poseyville at this time. And the temperatures have already dropped a good amount. Yeah, in fact, they're actually earlier today, they had some gusts up to 27 miles an hour around the noontime. So, yeah, it looks like we're not, not seeing a whole lot right now. So I'm going to take a look at some other weather stations. This one should be right about here. Let's see what this one's showing. Gust of 15. Let's take a look at the charts. Yeah, so no major wind events are being reported right now. This looks mean on the radar, but they're not issuing a warning. They're including northern Vanderburgh County in this, but there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on. So what I'm looking at here, this is APRS. This is a automated packet reporting system by amateur radio operators. Yeah, the wind gusts actually around noontime today were actually stronger. At this location where am I? Yeah, somewhere in Posey County. They actually had some gusts up to around 30 miles an hour there. So this front line's moving through right now. It is packing some strong winds, but we're not seeing anything. I don't see any severe or anything like that. The places to watch are, obviously I think Kentucky down here and this new line starting up here. I really kind of feel like we got lucky with this system. So Evansville, yeah, you're in a hole right now. Man, we've been going at it for 2 hours tonight. Look at this. I'm out of coffee. I need some more coffee. Actually, I don't. I'm going to head to bed probably right after this last line passes through. So just as long as this thing, I'm going to switch back to the radar view. Just as long as this thing doesn't come back together again. Let's see what happens. It does look like it is kind of forming a new bow right here. See that? Looks like it's trying to start something. Although the main wind action's about right here. The wind line's right there. So if we dig into Evansville here, dig in here a little bit, kind of see where that wind is. We'll just watch it, dive in, and see where it's passing in real time here. Let's hop back over to the velocity. Yeah, so we got it's just past Mount Vernon, and this line is currently moving. It's just around Caburn, Mars Center, Ford Road's right in there. Posey Patch is right down there. If you ever seen me flying in the Posey Patch, there's a little airport right down there that I've flown into. Yeah, it looks like the winds get a little stronger as you head to the north. So northern Vanderburgh County, it looks like these could be a little stronger. Yeah, so 50 60 mile per hour winds. So yeah, it might be justified for this warning to be up there in northern Vanderburgh County. This radar sweep is at 840. Okay, so this is pretty fresh. So it's scooped forward just a little bit. So yeah, this last line is getting ready to move through Evansville. And I think it's still moving about 40. Its effective rate speed. We have these storms here. It says that these storms are moving at 60 miles an hour. They're going 60 miles an hour at an angle up that way. Or is that way? Yeah, angle up that way. I can remember my camera's reversed. So they're going at an angle like this, and they're moving pretty quick. But what I like to look at is yawning. What I like to look at is I will take this storm. Actually, well, we'll get a little time here. I'm watching this move through. What I will do is I'll take these and I'll roll it back. I just click on this right here, and I'll roll it back to a particular time, and I'll pick a point. So I'll say, like, what time is it now? 8:44. So 7:43. Stop. There we go. Be a good radar. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, this at 7:50. Actually, I'm just going to go straight to 8 o'clock. See if we got to capture 8 o'clock. That'll make it easier on us. All right, 8 o'clock. There we go. So this time the storm was over here around Norris City, right? So we'll just remember, I'll remember that. And then we'll go to like right now. So I'll take the measuring tool and I'll go from Norris City over to, it's currently on the west side right here. So that is 26 miles. So in 26 miles, and that is in, 43 minutes? So that comes out to be about 36, let's say, okay, calculate out 36 miles per hour. So the storm is definitely slowing down. And that's a good sign. That means that it's losing its juice as it's hitting us. And we've already seen that. Two factors telling me that it's kind of really weakened is that, first off, we had this new line form out in front of it. And then we still have this line back here. Now, I'm not going to let our guard down just yet because it's still moving to the area. And it could kind of come back together as well. This could come back together as moves through Evansville. In fact, I did kind of predict that a little bit earlier, that once it moves through Evansville and hits into Warrick County and starts to move off to the east, we're going to see this thing start to rear back up again in this particular area. The storm has actually stayed together pretty good to the north and to the south. We just kind of had this area right here, kind of just to the south. Well, actually, probably to the south of 64, down through probably like El Dorado, Illinois. This little window right here, we saw a decent amount of weakening in this storm. But if we go back over here and look, like right now here at the Evansville airport, last report was 62 degrees, and over here it's 43 degrees. So almost a 20-degree difference in temperatures. And by the time we hit to the morning, it's going to be even colder. I am definitely going to be running my fireplace tomorrow. Temperatures are going to hover right around 30, right around the freezing mark pretty much all day tomorrow. And Twilight's when it's going to take a dive. We'll wake up Tuesday morning to probably in the somewhere in the teens. Probably here in Evansville, probably around 17 degrees, something like that. Yeah, so we had a report from Posey County, just heavier rain. And it looks like the wall of wind, what's left of it, is currently moving into Vanderburgh County now. And we're just going to keep our eye on this because it does feel like it's getting a little bit, it's starting to pick up a little strength again. So let's Let's look at the velocity, and I'm going to replay the animation here. It does look like it is getting a little bit stronger. So we had this initial line move through, and then we have this main line moving through. So, like I said, I'm going to stick with this and keep watching it till it passes my house. And then we'll drop out after that, because then it's just going to be moving off to our east. I think I kind of missed. Nope, we got a new warning. Just came in from Gibson, Posey, and Vanderburgh. I think what they're doing is they're just making this. Yeah, they're redrawing it. Every time they redraw that warning, it comes up on my system. I need to fix my program here and deduplicate, because these all actually have the same warning IDs. They just put them in the system 3 times for whatever reason. You would think that if they replace a warning that they would just, drop the previous 2, but I don't know. So these 2 right here you see are actually the same exact warning. There is shown expiring time of 9 o'clock, and as these continue to move through off to the east, it's going to be not much. So yeah, if you're in Evansville right now, it looks like it's starting to move across the west side where the wind is, just now crossing the Vanderburgh Warrick County line, and it doesn't look too terribly strong right now, so that's a good sign for us. Let's see, the USI for beer is right there. So yeah, it looks like USI is getting ready to get hit. Yeah, I'm still not freaking out a whole lot about this storm right now. It's just kind of lost its power. The National Weather Service lost. I think they kind of missed their aim on this storm. They kind of had Evansville right in the middle of the action, and it looks like most of the action actually happened off to our west. St. Louis, Missouri, Arkansas, those areas. I was in Arkansas yesterday. That was fun. All those areas are seemed like they had the worst of it. Still hearing a little bit of thunder here in Newburgh. I'm just doing a quick survey of some areas. I have access to see if... oh, there's some people that are down. It's interesting. I can kind of see... I have a way to see if some stuff is online for some different areas. And it looks like some areas in Evansville took a neat little hit. In fact, I'm going to look here. I have an app called Ting that monitors my power in my house. And yeah, it's showing the closest outage is like 83 miles away. So it looks like our power situation is in pretty good shape here in the area. And like I said, we'll stick with this till this line moves through. But man, it's kind of wanting to reorganize a little bit, but then at the same time, it's just not really. Seems like it's really lost some of its power. And part of that is when that first line moves through. When that first line moved through, it's it took a lot of the juice out of it. So I think we got lucky tonight. I was so excited. I went up, got fresh gas for the generator, got everything all gassed up. Everything's ready to go. And here we are. My internet still is down, though. My Astound internet is still down. So I'm running on backup right now. So something must have hit that. Usually it doesn't go down in storms, but I guess it just depends. I think I've still got power. Nothing has beeped at me, so the power has been pretty solid. So the line of wind is currently still moving through Evansville right now. I imagine this warning that's over right here, I bet you're going to get ready to drop that one. I mean, this thing still does have a pretty good bowing action to it. Let's look at its history. We're going to take a quick look back here. See what the winds have done in this storm. So if you looked as they moved through Illinois, they kind of were not as defined. But if you check it out, check this out. It's actually looks like they're kind of it's really kind of reforming again. That's kind of what I thought. I thought that initial storm that moved through kind of took the power out of the storms in this particular area right here. So we really saw it weaken. And I think we're hitting another point now where it's starting to kind of come back together again. And I originally said probably either over Warrick County, and as it heads into Owensboro, we're going to probably see this thing kick up a little bit stronger again as the storm tries to reform. But what's interesting, I really thought that these two were going to converge. But this one's still kind of holding its own out in front. Doesn't look like it's really packing a lot of wind right now. Looks like the main wind vent's still sticking here on this main line. And that's just because all that cold air is right behind this main line right here. While this is moving through Evansville right now, if anybody has any reports, anything going on downtown, middle of Evansville, let me know. Shoot a little message. Let's go back over here. Let's see what's doing in St. Louis. 40 degree, 36 in western St. Louis. If you go further into Missouri, yeah, it's already at freezing out there. 27 north of Kansas City. Wow. Yeah, I know probably some of you are going to start dropping off once this passes through Evansville. It's a big thank you for watching tonight. I do this for you all. Ever since the incident occurred here where I literally witnessed a tornado outside my house. It was one block away from my house. I was on the phone with the National Weather Service arguing with them over the tornado. It's like, guys, this is a tornado. There is a yard barn door flying through the air right now. And they're like, oh, no, you're probably just seeing a cold air funnel. It's like, dude, you guys trained me to know the difference between a cold air funnel and a tornado. This sucker is a tornado. And it was. And then they never apologized and never did anything for it. It's like, you know what? These guys, they're just, the thing is they're covering a very large area. I get that. But the fact of arguing with you, and I mean, even if you look at the radar images, I'll have to pull them up. They're somewhere on my system. I kept a copy of the radar images. Very clear tornadic signature. I think it ended up being an F1 here in Newburgh, and it was a weird one too because it was literally moving due north. And that was another situation where I started hearing the thunder and the lightning was just constant. Anytime you see like constant lightning, beware. That's another indicator that you could have some potential a tornado. When you have that much lightning, there's a lot of updrafts. Could be a tornado going with it. Also potential for some hail in those too. I tell you what, this has been a heck of a workout for my voice. It is starting to get a little raspy now. So it looks like it's getting ready to cross Highway 41, probably right about now. This radar come in at 8:55, so it's 2 minutes old. Yep, fresh radar image just came in, so it's just now crossing Highway 41. It's at the Evansville Airport. Hopefully everybody's got any planes out there. It's all tied down. They don't have tie downs there, so hopefully they put you in a hangar. If not, I don't know if it's going to be strong enough to lift your plane up off the ground. Usually you need probably 50, 60 mile per hour winds for that. Yeah, so Henderson, downtown Henderson riverfront, you're probably getting ready to get the winds too. Like I said, they're not really, no warnings been issued for this particular storm. Yeah, in fact, they've actually just dropped off the warning for Gibson County. So here's what I think is going to happen. We're going to probably see this just continue to push through Evansville, hit the Warrick County. It may kick up and cause some problems for Owensboro. We'll just have to see. It's kind of really hard to tell, particularly with this other line of storms out in front of it. This thing is just kind of sucking the energy out of it. So I was really thinking these two storms were actually going to merge together and form one line. If that would have happened, then I think there would have been a new reoccurring event. But it just seems like this storm's kind of lost its strength. We do have a special weather statement for us right now. Let's take a look and see what they say. Yeah, so wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour are possible with the storm. They could a tornado could whip up. It's a possibility. Yeah, we just got they just updated one. A new severe thunderstorm warning just popped in. Let's see where that shows up on here. It's for Gibson, Posey, and Vanderburgh. I think they just updated it is all they did. Actually, I think that's someone made a boo-boo, probably. They probably meant to delete it. Yeah, let's take a look at where these winds are right now. So I'm going to say if you were in the downtown, Mount Vernon, obviously Posey County, you're in the all clear zone. West side of Evansville, USI, Red Bank area, looks like you're all in the clear. We'll see what happens with this as it heads towards Warrick County. It's already crossed Highway 41, probably getting ready to cross, probably already crossing Green River Road area right now. So that, okay, so our timing was about accurate. It's 9 o'clock, and I think we originally said it was going to hit here about 9 o'clock, 9:01. So our initial calculations are good. So usually that's what I do when I see a storm system moving through the area. You see these storm tracks, oh man, this thing's moving at 60 miles an hour. But I look at what the mean movement is. So I calculate, if I see it's moving this way, I want to see when that front is actually going to hit here coming from this direction. And you have to do a little math to get that to happen. First you have to go calculate the miles per hour. And then once you have that, you can put it into the program. See where it is. Or you can just do a raw calculation. You can measure how far away the front of the storm is and calculate based off that as well too. But we're just probably going to hang on here for a few more minutes tonight. Once again, thanks for joining. We do have some watchers over on YouTube. We used to do this on Facebook as well. That's kind of where everybody kind of gathered, but Facebook got a little silly on me. So a little rain, little wind on the south side. Yeah. Yeah, so it's getting ready to pass in the Warrick County now. And it looks like a lot of the warnings, like up here to the north. Let's see if they have that split up here. Oh, they do. Yeah, so the storm is kind of widening up here as well too. But I'm going to imagine this stuff's really going to start to wind down here in a little bit. While this storm's moving through here, we'll kind of explore the rest of the country, see what's going on. 42 alerts for the United States. So right now we have one tornado warning. Let's see where that's at. Central Hardin County in Tennessee. I know where that's at. Hardin County, Tennessee. Should be right down there. Yep. just off to the north of the Alabama-Mississippi border. If you look at this view, it does look pretty nasty, but that's just because there's a lot of heavy rain involved with this. So if you look here, the rain bands are kind of just very disorganized and kind of all over the place. So I think that's a factor in helping us keep from preventing us from getting a lot of the wind event. It's sucking the energy out of it, helping to dissipate it instead of just blasting it all with the wind. Yep, moving into Warrick County now. So I think I am the only probably person listening. Well, I think we have some people watching in Chandler, maybe some up in Boonville. Yeah, but really, I think we're going to Henderson. It looks like you're getting the strongest parts of the wind right now. And it looks like we're probably not going to get a whole terrible lot. I'm going to put another layer back on here real quick. I have to find, oh, there it is. I'm going to turn tornado watches back on and see what they currently show. So, yeah, so it looks like they canceled the tornado watch over in Illinois. Tornado watch still remains here in Indiana. They don't have anything further east in Spencer County. So we're just watching this as it goes into Warrick County right now. So your wind's probably kicking up here. Looks like getting ready to cross the Epworth Road area. And there's probably going to be some good, strong, sustained winds after the storm tonight. As the colder air just continues to just push into the area. We're seeing, it looks like there's some lightning. Yeah, there's a little bit of lightning here and there. It's to be expected. But folks, I think we got lucky tonight. Definitely got lucky. I'm going to say you're probably getting some pretty heavy rain on the southeast side of Evansville right now. If you look here, these storms, I'm going to look at the height. It said that the storm only went up 8,000 feet. They're not really getting a whole lot of height. See how high these storms are. Yeah, so not very high at all. 26,000, 30. There's some down there that are a little bit higher, 31,000 feet. We'll do a quick check for some vertically integrated liquid. Yeah, we're going to see that. This might see some hail, maybe. Small hail in northern Vanderburgh County, northern Warrick County. Maybe. It's a possibility. But yeah, so this is about ready to get to my house very soon here. Here on the east side of Newburgh. And yeah, Evansville looks like you're in the clear. Chandler, it's getting ready. You look like you're getting ready to get some of it. I am seeing some little finger action happening up there. Let's take a look. Let's take a closer look at that. It does look like they just issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Oh, that's a big one. Look at that sucker. Oh, they're just getting lazy now. Let's just highlight this whole area and shoot a warning to it. So I am going to look at these. I do see some fingers up here near Chandler sticking out. Yeah, so well, it's going to be north and west of the town. So, yeah, Greenbrier, Turpin Hill area. Keep an eye on that. That might get a little gnarly. So they did issue a new severe thunderstorm warning until 10 p.m. It includes eastern Vanderburgh County, which honestly, I think you guys are going to be out of it. I think what they did is they saw this whole thing. They just drew this big line and drew this big outline on here. Just because this wind is starting to pick up a little bit here. But really, I think everybody is out of it. That I think, getting some wind in Chandler. Yeah, cool. Looks like we're getting ready to get some up here too. They just issued a warning for Jasper. That was a separate one just because it's on they're on a different time zone there. So they generally split that. And I think that's issued out of I think Jasper's issued out of Louisville's Weather Service. I think Warrick, Spencer, they're all out of Paducah. And then Jasper is handled out of Louisville. But, yeah, I think it's... I hear the storm sirens going off here in Newburgh right now. So we got this main shift in wind coming through. But look back here, we got some pretty hefty winds that are going to be kind of cutting it through at night. So the chances of a power failure could be, we could see some gusty winds overnight tonight. There's some loose power lines out there, or any trees or anything like that could hit them. There's always those chances as this wind continues to whip in from the north, bringing that colder air in overnight. But I think everybody I know is kind of out of the area now. Like I said, it's moving through Chandler, getting ready to head into Boonville. And I see, is that a butt echo? These are usually a little bigger. But we've been looking for the butt echo tonight. We have not seen any, unfortunately. Mainly because this whole storm system kind of fell apart. Let's scan up and down and see if we see anything. Nope, not seeing it. And what I say a butt echo is, it looks like a just as it is, looks like a butt. You have two bow echoes. If you look at this one right here, and I'll draw a picture. So if you had like this one right here, like say for instance, and you had another one like converging right here, this is what I call a butt echo, because you got the two cheeks, and then you got a convergence points right there. Usually right where that butthole is, that is, you guys, you won't hear this on TV. That is usually where you could potentially see a decent tornado in those, where those two are converging together. But we're not seeing that tonight. We're seeing a little bowing action going on. The precipitation is a little disorganized, and that's been good. That's been good news for us tonight, so that we haven't had a lot of crazy action. But I kind of think that these storms could pick up a little bit as they move off to the east. I'm kind of feeling that, but I'm also on the fence about it because this whole section out here that's been blown out in front here has been sucking kind of the energy out of the storm. Looks like they're going to be getting the area I'd be more concerned about be up here to the north, Washington, Indiana, heading to Shoals, Mitchell. This storm looks like it's really bowing up pretty good. So I did hear some thunder. I think that's about it. So this is literally just passing my house now. The main section of wind is actually looks like it's already passed and I didn't hear anything. Maybe that's what that boom was. Maybe a trash can blowing down the street. But I think this is going to be pretty much it. We're going to have some steady winds, some gusty winds continue through the night. It's going to get colder. Tomorrow temperatures hovering in the lower 30s, right about freezing mark throughout the entire day. Then tomorrow night dropping off to the teens. So if you've got your fireplace, might want to get that fired up and getting it ready to go again. But other than that, I think we are kind of in the clear. Unless I know of anybody that's in Owensboro or any points east here. I think everybody that I am aware watching this in our hyper local, we're crazy too. Hyper local weather view here. I think we're going to be finished. So everybody, thank you so much for watching tonight. Looks like we had a pretty decent sized audience on here. Lots of precipitation and participation in the chat tonight. And it's been good having you here tonight. Join us next time. We'll see. Let's just take a look here at the main weather forecast coming up for the next foreseeable future here. Let's do a little summary and take a look. Let's see if I can do this. Let's go to weather. Evansville 10-day forecast. Oh, that's not what I want. There we go. So as we head through the week, it's going to be pretty much yucky. Temperatures will start to rise as we head into Wednesday. Tuesday is going to be cold. Wednesday's a little warmer. Could see some snow Wednesday morning. Probably a mix early in the morning. Thursday, we'll have temperatures close to 70 again, 73 for Friday. And this weekend, get out there and enjoy it, everybody. Saturday, high 75, sunny, almost 80 degrees on Sunday. And the weather looks pretty darn good. It's actually looking pretty good for flying this week, too. The winds are only peaking out around 10 miles an hour at the highest on Sunday and Monday next week. So I love it. Thank you all for joining. I am going to sign off for tonight. I am going to go to bed. It's my bedtime. I got to wake up early tomorrow morning and save the internets. So anyway, thanks for joining.